Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Journey with Vijay Kumar Shrivastav. Today I am going to present the topic rainwater harvesting. Before presentation I would like to introduce myself. I am Vijay Kumar Shrivastav. I have done M.Sc Agriculture with a specialization in Agronomy from Pant University of Agriculture and Technology Pantnagar in 1996 and presently working as a seed professional in one of the M.Sc associated with seeds and pesticide. So let's proceed to the presentation. Rainwater harvesting is a technique of collection and storage of rainwater into natural reservoirs or tanks, or the infiltration of surface water into subsurface aquifers before it is lost as surface runoff. Rainwater harvesting is a type of harvest in which the raindrops are collected and stored for the future use rather than allowing them to run off. Rainwater harvesting is an innovative technique utilized to harvest rainwater from roofs and other above surfaces to be stored for later use. Rainwater harvesting is a simple method by which rainfall is collected for future uses. The collected rainwater may be stored, utilized in different ways, or directly used for recharge purposes. With depleting groundwater levels and fluctuating climatic conditions, rainwater harvesting can go a long way to help mitigate these effects. This water conservation method can be easily practiced in individual homes, apartments, parks, offices, and temples also, and across the world. Farmers have recharged their dry borewells, created water banks in drought areas, greened their farms, increased sustainability of their water resources, and even created a river. Technical know-how for the rooftop rainwater harvesting with direct storage can be availed for better implementation. Rainwater harvesting is an effective method in water scarce time, and it is also an easily doable practice. Rainwater harvesting process involves collection and storage of rainwater with help of artificially designed systems that runs off natural or man-made catchment areas like rooftops, compounds, rocky surfaces, hill slopes, or artificially repaired impervious, semi-pervious land surface. The collected rainwater from surfaces on which rain falls may be filtered, stored, and utilized in different ways or directly used for recharge purposes. Rainwater harvesting is unrestricted from any kind of impurity with relatively less storage cost and no maintenance cost involved except for periodical cleaning. Why do rainwater harvesting? Rain is the source of clean water. Rainwater harvesting systems use the principle of conserving rainwater where it falls and have the following benefits, like it helps meet ever increasing demand of water, improves quality and quantity of groundwater, reduce flooding, and provide water where it is in a scarce condition. Where rainwater harvesting can be done? It can be done at individual homes, colonies, apartments, institutions, school, colleges, universities, clubs, hospitals, industries, slums, and everywhere the potential for rainwater harvesting is huge. Rainwater harvesting is most suitable where the groundwater is scarce, groundwater is contaminated, terrain is rugged or mountainous, seismic and flooding events are common, the aquifer is at risk of saltwater intrusion, and population density is low, and electricity and water prices are rising, and water is too hard or mineral laden. So these are the conditions where rainwater harvesting is very effective. Rainwater may be utilized for drinking, cooking, which is having the potable quality, recharge under groundwater, domestic uses like washing clothes or bathing purpose, irrigation usage, livestock requirement, and gardening purposes. Now we will study about benefits of rainwater harvesting. First one, it provides backup source of water. There are many uncertainties in water supply systems. Drought may lead to shortage of water. Destruction of water supply systems may occur at specific locations. Major repairs and maintenance in water companies happen sporadically. All these variables lead to unavailability of water in your home. So installing rainwater harvesting system is the best course of action to continue enjoying water supply in case any of the above various occurrence. The collected rainwater can be used for many different purposes around the home. This includes laundry, washing dishes, and more. This would prevent groundwater depletion and augment groundwater table. Second benefit is an adequate means for irrigation purpose. Harvesting rainwater allows the collection of large amounts of water and mitigates the effect of drought. Most rooftops provide the necessary platform for collecting water. Rainwater is mostly free from harmful chemicals, which makes it suitable for irrigation purposes. Third benefit is cost effective. Rainwater harvesting systems are cost effective, provide high quality water, lessens dependence on wells, and are considerably easy to maintain since they are not utilized for drinking, cooking, or other sensitive usage. The all-around expenditures used in setting up harvesting methods are much cheaper compared to other purifying or pumping means. The cost of recharge to the subsurface reservoir is also lower than the surface reservoirs. Fourth benefit of rainwater harvesting is ecological benefit. Storing water underground is environment friendly. The ecological benefits of rainwater harvesting are immense. It minimizes the impact of flooding by funneling the off water into large tanks for recycling and help reduce the load placed upon drainage system. No land is wasted for a storage purpose and no population displacement is implicated. Therefore, groundwater is not directly exposed to evaporation and pollution. Additionally, it helps minimize the possibility of river drying up. The ecological benefit rainwater harvesting system bring is that there will be a significant reduction in the amount of water used from the mains. This ideally means that water companies will not have to artificially pump in water from rivers and lakes. This will help minimize the possibility of rivers drying up. Fifth benefit of rainwater harvesting is easy to maintain. Rainwater harvesting systems are considerably easy to maintain since they are not utilizing for drinking, cooking, or other sensitive usage. This means that they will not need installation of purification systems, which are usually expensive. Rainwater harvesting systems are cost effective, provide high quality water, reduce dependence on wells. The surplus rainwater can also be used to recharge groundwater aquifers through artificial recharge techniques. Sixth benefit of rainwater harvesting is it reduces demand on groundwater. Another vital benefit is that it increases the productivity of aquifers, resulting in the rise of groundwater levels and reduces the need for potable water. It is extremely essential, particularly in areas with low water levels. Seventh benefit of rainwater harvesting, it reduces erosion and flooding around buildings. Most buildings that utilize rainwater harvesting systems have a built-in catchment area on top of the roofs which is capable of collecting vast amount of water in case of rainstorms. It helps to reduce soil erosion as by capturing rainwater, the flow of storm water is reduced, which can also prevent urban flooding. If the water were not collected efficiently, it could have resulted in serious soil erosion and flooding around the house. Eighth benefit, rainwater harvesting requires low upfront capital investment. Installation of rainwater harvesting system is not that expensive, plus it is a one-time installation. The only routine maintenance required is cleaning out the tank. You will probably hire an expert technician to install the system for you. When you sum up the overall cost of installing the system, you will find that it is actually manageable. Once you begin using rainwater, you will also appreciate a reduced amount of water consumption in the home. Thus, all of your utility bills will greatly shrink in size. How incredible would it be slash as much as 50 to 60% of your water bill each month? Now to study rainwater harvesting methods. It is simple to collect rainwater from building roofs and numerous other sources. As long as you are ready and equipped with a couple of different items, you will have all that it takes to begin rainwater harvesting and enjoying natural, delicious, clean and useful water. Rainwater harvesting systems can be purchased complete from various home improvement stores, and the cost of these systems will vary according to the system. First method is rain barrels. This method is most common and one that many people are familiar with. This involves installing a barrel at a gutter downspout to collect rainwater. The actual barrels may be a recycled barrel or a new commercially available rain barrel. And what are the positive sides? It can be easily implemented by anyone at any residence. Barrels are readily available in your community or at various stores and websites. Barrels don't take up much space, so they can fit into any situation. And what are the constraints? Capacity is generally only 50 to 100 gallons. Easily overflows and waste collection opportunities. Second method of rainwater harvesting is dry system. This is a well-known method of rainwater harvesting. It is basically an improvement to the rainwater barrel technique in terms of size. A larger water storage container is situated just a few steps from the property. This container provides a much larger storage capacity compared to the barrel. This method is a variation of a rain barrel setup, but it involves a larger storage volume. Essentially, the collection pipe dries after each rain event since it empties directly into the top of the tank. And what are the positive sides? Can store a large amount of rainwater. Great for climates where rainfall happens with infrequent larger storm events. It can be inexpensive to implement and less complicated system to maintenance is easier. And what are the constraints? The storage tanks must be located next to your house. Third method of rainwater harvesting is wet system. The wet system is the exact opposite of dry system. This is because the collection pipes are ever full of water since they are located underground. Hence, numerous collection pipes are connected to multiple downspouts on the building and channeled to empty into the storage tank underground. When there is no rain, the level stays constant and the pipes are always full. Due to the ever availability of water inside the pipes, it is recommended that they be watertight to mitigate the possibility of leaking into the soil. The underground piping makes it relatively expensive to install compared to the dry systems. What are the positive sides? The ability to collect from your entire collection surface, the ability to collect from multiple gutters and downspouts, and the tank can be located away from your house. And what are the constraints? More expensive to implement due to underground piping. Sufficient difference between gutters and tanks inlet must be available. Fourth method of rainwater harvesting is green roofing. This method of rainwater harvesting literally cuts out the middleman. Instead of directing rainwater for storage in the tank and then channels into the garden, you could install a green roof on your house to enable plants use the water instantly. But you have to lay down a lining for your roof protection and include a drainage system to take care of the runoffs. Installing garden beds with plants that require low maintenance is the surefire way of maximizing your plot productive space and leveraging the rainwater where it falls. Also, installing a green roof will add insulation to your house and cushion roof from damage. Now we will study about techniques of rainwater harvesting. There are two major techniques of rainwater harvesting. First one, surface runoff harvesting. In this method, rainwater flows away as surface runoff and can be stored for future use. Surface water can be stored by diverting the flow of small creeks and streams into reservoirs on the surface or underground. It can provide water for farming, for cattle, and also for general domestic use. Surface runoff harvesting is most suitable in urban areas. In urban area, rainwater flows away as surface runoff. This runoff could be caught and used for recharging aquifers by adopting appropriate methods. Second is rooftop rain harvesting. It is a system of catching rainwater where it falls. In rooftop harvesting, the roof becomes the catchment and the rainwater is collected from the roof of the house or building. It can either be stored in a tank or diverted to artificial recharge system. This method is less expensive and very effective, and if implemented properly helps in augmenting the groundwater level of the area. It is beneficial for groundwater recharge. Groundwater recharge is a hydraulic process where water moves downward from surface water to groundwater. Recharge is the primary method through which water enters an aquifer. The aquifer also serves as a distribution system. The surplus rainwater can then be used to recharge groundwater aquifer through artificial recharge techniques. Rooftop rainwater or a storm runoff can be harvested in urban areas through recharging pit, recharging trenches, recharging tube well and recharge wells. While in case of rural areas, the rainwater can be harvested through gully plug, contour bund, dug well recharge, percolation tank, check dam, cement plug, nala bund and recharge shaft. Although rainwater harvesting measures is deemed to be a desirable concept since the last few years, it is rarely being implemented in rural India. Different regions of the country practiced a variety of rainwater harvesting and artificial recharge methods. Some ancient rainwater harvesting methods followed in India, which includes madakaj, ahar pines, surangas, tankas, etc. What are the components of rooftop rainwater harvesting? First one is catchment, from where water is captured and stored or recharged. Second is transportation, that carries the water harvested from the catchment to the storage or recharge zone. Third is first flush, that is used to flush out the first spell of rain. Fourth is filter, which is used to remove pollutants. And fifth, storage tanks or various recharge structure, which is to store the water. What is the catchments? The surface that receives rainfall directly in the catchment of rainwater harvesting system. It may be terrace, courtyard or paved or unpaved open ground. The terrace may be flat RCC or stone proof or sloping proof. Therefore, the catchment is the area which actually contributes rainwater to the harvesting system. Second is transportation. Rainwater from rooftop should be carried through down take water pipes or drains to a storage and harvesting system. Water pipes should be UV resistant of required capacity. Water from sloping roof could be caught through gutters and down take pipes. A terrace's mouth of each drain should have wire mesh to restrict floating material. Now first flush. First flush is a device used to flush off the water received in first shower. The first shower of rain needs to be flushed off to avoid contaminating storable and rechargeable water by the probable contaminants of the atmosphere and the catchment roof. It will also help in cleaning of silt and other materials deposited on roof during dry seasons. Provisions of first rain separator should be made at outlet of each drain pipe. Now fourth is filter. There is always some skepticism regarding rooftop rainwater harvesting since doubts are raised that rainwater may contaminate groundwater. There is a remote possibility of this fear coming true if proper filter mechanism is not adopted. Secondly, all care must be taken to see that underground sewer drains are not punctured and no leakage is taking place in close vicinity. Filters are used for treatment of water to effectively remove turbidity, color and microorganisms. After first flushing of rainfall, water should pass through filters. A gravel, sand and netlon mesh filter is designed and placed on top of the storage tank. This filter is very important in keeping the rainwater in the storage tank clean. It removes silt, dust, leaves and other organic matter from entering to the storage tank. Now we will study about methods of rooftop rainwater harvesting. First one is storage of direct use. In this method, rainwater collected from the roof of the building is diverted to a storage tank. The storage tank has to be designed according to the water requirements, rainfall and catchment availability. Second is recharging groundwater aquifers. Groundwater aquifers can be recharged by various kinds of structures to ensure percolation of rainwater in the ground instead of draining away from the surface. Commonly used recharging methods are: first, recharging of borewells; second, recharging of dug wells; third, recharging pits; fourth, recharging trenches; fifth, soakage or recharge shafts; and sixth, recharging percolation tanks. Now to study recharging of bore wells. Rainwater collected from rooftop of the building is diverted through drain pipes to settlements or filtration tanks. After settlement, filter water is diverted to bore wells to recharge deep aquifers. Abandoned bore wells can also be used for recharge. Recharge pits. Recharge pits are small pits of any shape, rectangular, square or circular, constructed with brick or stone masonry walls with weep hole at regular intervals. Top of pits can be covered with perforated covers. Bottom of pits should be filled with filter media. Soak away or recharge shafts. Soak away or recharge shafts are provided where upper layer of soil is alluvial or less pervious. These are bored hole of 30 cm diameter up to 10 to 15 meter deep depending on depth of pervious layer. Bore should be lined with slotted or perforated PVC or MS pipe to prevent collapse of vertical sides. At the top of soakaway, required size sump is constructed to retain runoff before the filters through soakaway. Sump should be filled with filter media. A schematic diagram of recharge shaft is shown in figure. Recharging of dug wells. Dug wells can be used as recharge structure. Rainwater from the rooftop is diverted to dug wells after passing it through filtration bed. Cleaning and desalting of dug wells should be done regularly to enhance the recharge rate. The infiltration method suggested for borewell recharging could be used here also. A schematic diagram of recharging into dug well is indicated in this figure. Now recharge trenches. Recharge trench is provided where upper impervious layer of soil is shallow. It is a trench excavated on the ground and refilled with porous media like pebbles, boulders or brick beds. It is usually made for harvesting and surface runoff. Bore wells can also be provided inside the trench as recharge shafts to enhance percolation. The length of the trench is decided as per amount of runoff expected. Now percolation tank. Percolation tanks are artificially created surface water bodies submerging a land area with adequate permeability to facilitate sufficient percolation to recharge the groundwater. These can be built in big campuses where land is available and topography is suitable. Surface runoff and rooftop water can be diverted to this tank. Water accumulating in the tank percolates in the solid to augment the groundwater. The stored water can be used directly for gardening and raw use. Percolation tanks should be built in gardens, open spaces and roadside green belts of urban area. Now we will study about the examples of traditional water harvesting systems in India. In first region, Trans-Himalayan region, where Jing is used as a tank for collecting water from melted ice in Ladakh. In western Himalayas, there is Kul, which are the water channels in mountain areas of Jammu, Himachal Pradesh, and the second is Naula, which is a small ponds used in Uttaranchal as a water harvesting. Then in eastern Himalayas, first we will study about northeastern hill ranges. Here there is a system of Aftani system where the terraced plots connected by inlet and outlet channel in Arunachal Pradesh. Second is Jebo, which is the impounding runoff in Nagaland. Then bamboo drip irrigation. Water from streams in the hills is brought to the plains via bamboo pipes for drip irrigation in Meghalaya. Then Brahmaputra Valley, there are Dong system, which are the ponds used in Assam. Then Dungs or Jampois, which is a small irrigation channels linking rice fields to streams in the Jalpaiguri district of West Bengal. Then Indo-Gangetic plains, where Dighi, which is a small square or circular reservoir fed by canals from rivers in Delhi. Then Baulige, secular structure step wells, from which everyone could draw water and use for washing and bathing. In Thar deserts, the rainwater harvesting systems are like Bawdis or Bears, which is community wells in Rajasthan. Then Tankas, which is underground tank used in Bikaner in Rajasthan. Then Kund, a circular underground well having a saucer-shaped catchment area that gently slopes towards the center where the well is situated. Now in Central Highlands, like Johards, which is Ardhan Check dams in Alwar district, Rajasthan. Now we'll go through the conclusion about rainwater harvesting system. Harvesting and collection of rainwater is an adequate strategy that can be used to address the problem of water crisis globally. The use of a rainwater harvesting system provides excellent merits for every community. This simple water conservation method can be boosted to an incredible solution in areas where there is enough rainfall but not enough supply of groundwater. It will not only provide the most sustainable and efficient means of water management but also unlock the vista of several other economic activities leading to the empowerment of people at the grassroots level. For this, the government should come out with an appropriate incentive structure and logistic assistance to make a real success. Rainwater harvesting is something that thousands of families across the world should participate in rather than pinning hopes of the administration to fight water crisis. This water conservation method is a simple and effective process with numerous benefits that can be easily practiced in individual homes, apartments, parks, and across the world. As we all know that charity begins at home, likewise a contribution to society welfare has to be initiated from one's home. So this presentation was all about rainwater harvesting. Hope this presentation is very useful to all of you. Now my presentation ends here. Thank you very much. I have given here my YouTube channel details. Journey with Vijay Kumar Shrivastav. Having request, please visit the channel, subscribe it, and provide your kind and valuable feedback for further improvements. Thank you.